Here we have the 2-hour price chart for Meta Platforms Incorporated, stock ticker META. Here we can see a stock that has shown a very substantial reversal here in a very short period of time. To be perfectly honest, this is a chart that got very messy very quickly. Most of last week we saw a bit of two-way activity in the early parts of this week. We were seeing some fairly strong rallies throughout the tech space and throughout the market as a whole. But then, roughly Thursday, we really did start to see the tide turn a bit, and the market as a whole really started to show declines. These declines were present in the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow. These were very broad based declines that were seen throughout the market, and the technology space was really hit hard in particular. This was not occurring just with Meta platforms. This was seen with many different stocks. Nvidia was seen trading sharply lower. Apple was losing support levels. There was a very substantial turnaround in Tesla. So this was not selling pressure that was being specifically directed at one stock like Meta. But as we can see here, this stock really substantially broke through many support levels very quickly. We're even seeing price gaps lower here. And this chart got very messy very fast. So we can try to unpack this and try to figure out what is most likely to occur next, and whether or not these current declines represent a new buying opportunity for the stock. What I have been looking at here, this most recent Fibonacci analysis was based upon the July 1st lows, which posted at 493.17. It's going to be an important level to remember here, 493.17. And then this extended to the highs, which posted at 542.96. So once the selling pressure began to start, we fairly quickly we started to see these Fibonacci retracement levels give way. These did not hold up very well for very long. As we can see, the 23.6 level, this red line here, gave way almost immediately. I mean, after we're posting these all-time highs here, the share price did turn around quite quickly, and we already saw a piercing through this price level. We didn't see a close below there, but it did sort of set the stage for what happened next, because this was a very, very significant turnaround in a short period of time. This does to me look like a round of profit taking. I mean, I do think that there were a lot of people that were long this stock, probably sitting on some gains. And then people did start to take gains on those positions, I think, is the most likely explanation for what happened here. Just given this kind of quick turnaround that we saw based on, the candle that posted when the stock made its all-time highs. Fairly quickly, we did see closes below here on a 2-hour basis. We didn't quite test the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. This would have been a bit lower. We did start to see some support levels, but then bang, here's this massive injection of selling pressure into the market, which started to occur right here. This is really where most of the damage was done, in my view. Here this would be the Thursday, July 11 trading session, and we fairly quickly fall directly through this 38.2% Fibonacci retracement at 524.15. And as that occurs, we're also breaking the 20 period exponential moving average. That's the yellow line here, and the 50 period exponential moving average. That's the orange line here. And then as that second break occurs, we're also losing the 50% retracement of that prior trending move. So, really in one candle here, we really fell through 4 important support zones all at the same time, really, in a very short period of time. So, this is probably, leading some people start to close their positions. Or we're probably starting to see some panic selling here. This is a very substantial move, and we're breaking through many critical, price levels, essentially at the same time. I mean, it's not exactly instantaneous, of course, but, in 1 2-hour trading period here, we lost 4 major support levels. And the prices closed right at the lows with this candle, as we can see here. There's no wick on the bottom of this candle, which means that we closed at the lows. So, prices continue to fall here. We kind of then we ground through this 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, which is found at 512.50. And then we found a bit of support at the 100 hour, let's be 2 hour. I should say the 100 period exponential moving average on the 2 hour chart. Better way of phrasing it. We did find a bit of support here, but then on the following trading session, I mean, you can see here we have a price gap lower. I mean, this stock can just not get any luck here. I mean, this is just a massive damaging move to the downside here. I mean, there was a very strong uptrend in place. We're posting all-time highs, and then look at the turnaround here. I mean, it's really substantial in a short period of time. Um, in my view, what seems to be happening here is that the technology space is kind of splintering off here in a few different directions. For the most part, tech tends to kind of trade maybe in the same direction. If Nvidia and Microsoft and Apple are having a good day, maybe a lot of these other stocks also have a good day. But I think what we're starting to see here is sort of a disintegration of that trend, a splintering off, where some stocks might start to fare better than others. And in this recent downtrend, I mean, there is just no question about it. Meta Platforms has lost more than some of the other Mag 7 counterparts. Some of these other stocks are starting to base a bit. Nvidia is trading lower, but it's starting to find a bit of a base. Apple has done a fairly good job in recovering most of its losses. Intel is one name that I like to point to. It's not a Mag 7 stock, but Intel actually overcame its prior highs, which is pretty interesting. That's definitely a technology stock as well. So, there's a very different, it's kind of a tale of two cities type of situation here, where some stocks are faring much better than others. So I am curious to hear what people have to say about Meta here. I mean, do you think that these declines can continue? Do you think that this is a strong buy here at the lows? And do you think that we're going to continue to see this kind of breaking apart within the tech space as a whole? If we look at the indicator reading here, there is some reason for optimism here on a longer term basis, due to the fact that we have now moved into oversold territory. It's not a totally positive picture here because we have lost this prior uptrend that was in place, signaling positive momentum. That trend has broken. But the reality here is that we have started to move into oversold territory at this point. So it's not really clear that that these declines can continue much further. If we do start to roll over out of oversold territory here, as we're moving into this price level that I mentioned before, 493.17, this could be a bullish signal here because this is a very strong support level, and it did mark kind of the starting point of the prior rally. So I am starting to watch this relative strength index reading here, and I think that if we do see a turnaround here, I do think that this 493 level could be an interesting buy zone for the stock going forward. So I would like to know what everybody thinks about Meta Platforms. Do you think that this 493 price level is likely to hold, or do you think that we can continue to extend further, even though we're now reaching into oversold territory? This is the current market update for Meta Platforms Incorporated, stock ticker META.